I think you should really focus on mocks. Mocks you should give very seriously, quality over quantity. That is the best mock that you can give. Cat, I ended up wasting about 20 minutes of on one set. Thought that, I should just throw out this set and not look at it again and look at all the four other sets that there are. And after 20 minutes, I thought that this exam is now over. I ended up cracking the whole set using the options. Ended up scoring more than 99 percentile in DILR also.
Welcome to Elitesgrid Success Stories, where we not only share the final results but everything that came before it. So today we have Gurjujhar Singh with us, who scored 99.94 percentile in CAT 2025. So let's get to know about his journey and how it all started. So Gurjujhar, tell me a little bit about yourself. How was your schooling, undergrad, and what were you doing before CAT?
So, hi, thank you for the introduction. I am Gurjujhar Singh Sidhu. I come from a defense family. So, moved around a lot during my schooling and completed my 10th from Punjab and 12th from Pune. And very, you know, I was okay in academics. So, I gave JEE Advance, got into IIT BHU, joined in 2020, passed out in 2025, and then decided that maybe this is not the right track for me, and thus decided that I should maybe pursue something which is takes full utilization of my communication skills and other problem solving skills, and thus decided to attempt CAT and look for an MBA.
All right. So you just graduated or you were working before giving your
No,
CAT?
I graduated July 2025, and for 2nd or 3rd August I enrolled with Elitesgrid, and classes were on from I think 7th or 8th.
Okay, so you were studying along with your CAT preparation.
No, my studying was it finished. I graduated in July.
Okay, okay, all right. So, like before starting CAT exam, like you have certain doubts, like how it's all gonna go. So, how did you figure out how you gonna, what is your preparation strategy gonna be, and how did you land on EG? How did you find out about EG?
So I had, one of the main problems in my profile was that I had a what you would call a very low UG score, which is a 6 in my UG.
Yeah.
So I tried, contacting a lot of other coachings as well, and they were not very helpful. A lot of them said that you should probably not give CAT. You will not receive any blackie calls since your profile is so bad. You don't have work X. But then I talked with EG. I spoke to Hani sir. He said that I will not give you false confidence, but definitely you can get blackie calls. It is not like you cannot get calls. So
Okay.
it gave me a lot of confidence, and then I started preparing for CAT, and that's how it started.
Okay. So, how was your whole journey? How did you keep yourself motivated?
I think it is very important that when you start giving mocks, you start giving mocks as early as possible and give mocks with full focus. If you do not take mock seriously, then there it is a problem. You take every mock seriously, and then don't worry too much about the score, but worry about how has your performance changed from the previous mock. You should incrementally keep building up towards the CAT examination, and your best mock should be your CAT examination.
Spoke like funny, sir. So, when did you start giving mocks, and how many mocks did you give in total? Any idea?
I started giving mocks, I think, within a month. So August I started my preparation, and within 2 weeks I started giving mocks. And I think the very first mock that you should give is probably last year's CAT exam. That is the best mock that you can give, and then you can start see where you are, and then start planning accordingly. So I give very few mocks because I believe that each mock should be taken seriously. So I only gave around 10 mocks, but I took them very seriously and analyzed them quite extensively, giving even 3, 4 hours for analysis.
So, what was your whole process for analyzing? How did you like analyze each section and each question? What was your entire strategy about analyzing mocks?
I think it is very important that when you're analyzing mocks, you break down it into subject-wise different streams, and then you look at, the big picture. What is your percentage accuracy? What is your percentage attempt? And then you figure out that, if you decrease your attempt by a certain percentage, say you from in VARC, you from 90% attempt to say 80% attempt, how does that affect accuracy? And then you play around and find your sweet spot in attempts.
So you accuracy and attempts go hand in hand. So you understand it's a good strategy to find the sweet spot between. So uh, speaking of mocks, which was your strongest section and which was your weakest section?
So, coming from a engineering background, definitely quants was my strongest section. And I initially did not score so highly in quants, but I was not worried because I was aware that that is a subject. This is a section that I can any day increase my marks in. I was more focused on DILR and VARC. Specifically, VARC initially, certain mocks, they are not very much like CAT, certain other mocks, and then you end up scoring low in them and getting disheartened. But then I talked to sir and he said that, do not worry. And the real CAT exam is very different from a lot of mocks that are available. And then you should definitely focus on the EG mocks where they were more in line with the CAT pattern, I felt.
So what was your revision strategy? Was the classes provided by Elitesgrid enough for you, or you need to do some extra revision for all the syllabus and topics?
I think I did not do any more revision than what was provided by EG, specifically quants. Ani sir, the long marathons, they were very, very helpful, and he covered everything under the sun that, comes. Even a lot of things that I did during my JEE, he also covered, which, you tend to forget. Maybe they were a little bit more for CAT, but I think it is always advisable to go cover more syllabus than to cover less syllabus.
So, how did you handle the D-Day pressure? What you do all the during the rest of the months, what you practice, what mocks you give is very different from what it's actual like on the CAT exam days. So, how did you handle that pressure and how did you handle that stress?
I think, I learned a lot about exam pressure specifically during my time when I was preparing for JEE. And it is very important that in your last few mocks, you give at the exact time slot that your cat is scheduled. So, for example, I had the third slot. So I started giving about as soon as the admit card was out, I started giving all my mocks at that very time during that very time slot. And then you should also try and sit, half an hour before your mock because you get that same anxiety that you get when you enter the exam center and sit half an hour looking at the screen where you can't do anything. And, you have to think about yourself and how will this mock go? What if things don't turn out right? And that helps because then you start feeling like on the detail that this is also like any other mock and I'm sitting half an hour before the exam, and that really really helps if you want to get over the d-day pressure, because the more your prep is like your d-day, the easier it is on the d-day.
Okay. So, what was going inside your head when you were sitting for the exam, that half hour when you can't do anything? What was going in your head?
I was fortunate enough that in my cat center there was nobody sitting next to me on both sides. One side was a wall and one side was an empty seat, so I complete and it was not only a wall, it was a window. So for half an hour, I completely stared out of the window looking at the trees, nothing else. If you think anything, it is inevitably you are going to end up thinking negative. So the best way to, handle exam pressure on the D-Day is to not think anything. When you're going to the center 1 hour before the exam, just stop thinking about the exam.
Okay, that's a good thing not to think about it. So आपने अपनी preparation journey के बारे में बताया and how Elite Grid helped you. Can you like elaborate or tell a little bit about कि faculty ने आपको कैसे help करा, like in classes, or if you have any doubts or you were stuck in your journey, so how faculty helped you?
I think Hani sir or गौरव सर ने बहुत बहुत हेल्प किया. गौरव सर ऑलवेज ही वाज देयर ऑन व्हाट्सएप. कुछ भी आप डाउट भेजो, कोई भी आप प्रॉब्लम भेजो आपको लग रही है, तो यूज टू ऑलवेज रिस्पॉन्ड very very promptly. और मतलब this is one of the best things about Elitesgrid is कि the faculty are always available on WhatsApp, and that is very very important because the person who is teaching you in class, you have a different connection, you get to know them, and then they are able to answer your query in such a better way than anybody else, third party handling doubts. And Anisar, his dedication, it's so nice to see, somebody who's willing to take classes for 12 hours on weekends, and on both days, Saturdays, Sundays, and it just gives you the motivation that there is nothing for him riding on your result. So if he's putting in so much effort, then you should probably put in more effort than him. That is not humanly possible to do. But it gives you that motivation to work really really hard for your result.
Yes. So, any advice that you would like to give your future aspirants? Like, what should their be, what should their CAT strategy be? Anything that you learned from your journey that you want to pass on to others?
I think you should really really focus on mocks. You should give very seriously, quality over quantity, rather than giving a lot of mocks. Give few mocks, analyze very very well, and then you should also definitely, the strategy is very much as important as the syllabus. If your strategy is not well, then you will definitely suffer. And DILR can be very very dangerous, especially mock to mock, because things can change on the D-Day. For example, during my CAT, I ended up wasting about 20 minutes of on one set in DILR, which I could not solve. And after 20 minutes, I thought that, I should just throw out this set and not look at it again and look at all the four other sets that there are. And then start chipping away at the sets. And, Hani sir, he specifically even took some classes and for, how to do DILR sets, that even if you can't solve the whole set, you can maybe use some guesswork or something options to, crack one set, which I found very helpful. One of the sets in my CAT exam, I took one of the options and started using them, and I ended up cracking the whole set using the options. And that, just saved me. And in the end, ended up scoring more than 99 percentile in DILR also, because this time exam was a little bit on the tougher side. And, you know, when you end up messing up a section, it is very important that you come back and try and cover up in the next section specifically. It is very common, happened to me in a few mocks also, that you end up messing up DILR, and then you ended up messing your quants also, because you feel that this exam is now over. It's very important that you lock in for the next section if one section does not go as per your plan, and then you get as much marks as you can possibly can in the next sections.
That's a good thing. Like, lot of people they mess up their quant section because the LRDA section does not go as planned. That's
Right?
a good thing.
You should always keep steam in the tank, and focus more on VARC and quants, because scores are much more in your hands. Your scores will hover around your mock scores a little more, little less. That happens. But DILR can be very, dicey. It can go very good and very bad on depending on the exam and the day that you are having.
So my last question is, would you recommend EG to a CAT aspirant? And did they provide you a structured CAT plan? Did they help you with everything like revision, mocks? So would you recommend it to someone else who's
I would
preparing for CAT?
100% recommend EG to anybody who asks me where to start preparing for CAT. I would say that just do not do anything else. Just blindly follow what they are telling, and you should just stick to the plan that they are giving. There are a lot of topic tests that are provided. There are a lot of puzzles, and sometimes it can look a little daunting, but you start chipping away at them, and in no time you'll be able to get through them. And there's a lot of puzzles, topic tests, and if you are able to cover them, you in the end will definitely end up doing very well in CAT, because if you have the more number of questions you do before CAT, the better you will do in CAT. That is definitely the case.
Thank you so much, Gurjujhar. Thank you for giving your time and all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thank you.